In this video, we're going to listen to Lee Strobel with Tucker Carlson talking about the influence of evil in our culture today and how Satan is manifesting. Lee Strobel is actually a very interesting guy. His story, his testimony is powerful. So here is this journalist, right, an atheist journalist who had a wife who became a Christian, and he made up his mind that he's going to do everything in his power to convince her otherwise. So one of the goals was to help her to realize Christianity is a farce. The resurrection of Jesus never took place. So he went on a journey trying to actually disprove that. An amazing book is written about this. There's also a movie out there as well. But in an effort to do that, he had to examine countless of evidence. And as he did the examination, looking at the facts, the evidence was so strong for the resurrection of Jesus, Lee Strobel left his atheism and became a Christian. Powerful stuff, but also his wife was praying, setting an example. You know, it's interesting story. In this video, they're talking about the influence of evil in our culture. Let's take a listen. We're going to share some thoughts as we go.
The biggest problem in our culture is to deny that there is a demonic realm, pretend like there isn't.
So what are the hallmarks of it then?
Well, I think some things you mentioned, we see manifestations of it in ways that defy natural explanations. And I think that's probably the best way of...
disorder, distraction, chaos, violence, hate, division. Maybe.
And you think if Satan were smart, which he is, would he go around the country and around the world trying to possess or bother average, everyday people? Well, you know what? Much more efficient to go to Hollywood and to influence a bunch of people there who are very influential in, let's say, the entertainment industry. And let's say he encourages them to create films and television shows that are funny and that are creative and that are fun, but there's an underlying message to them, that there's a normalization of immoral activity that makes it normal. Because, you know, when we laugh, it opens us up to various possibilities. When we laugh, our defenses come down. So I'm thinking of a wonderful, funny TV show like Friends. Remember Friends, the TV show? It was on TV for years. Very popular show.
Only American who never saw it, but yeah.
But underlying that is a very ugly sexual ethic that normalizes multiple sexual partners and that sort of thing. The kind of thing that Satan would love to inculcate into American culture.
The comment regarding Hollywood is actually true. It's really a dark place. The cities of the fallen angels, the lost angels. Anyway, I'm just stretching the matter. But the point is, there's a lot coming out of Hollywood that is targeting our children and our culture. It is actually very disturbing. You can see the amount of evil that has been destroying the land as a result of the perversion, corruption, and immorality that we find in some of the movies that we watch in this world. And Hollywood has great influence on the psyche, on people's decisions and emotions, even spirituality. So I think Satan uses these actors, and many of them have come out to even say that they were possessed. Think of the music industry too. Think about not just the actors, but also think about the producers, and think about so many other aspects of it, even the video game programmers and so on. It's a massive system that has a strong influence in the culture. And some of these people definitely are possessed, and they are unhappy people. They are broken people, and it's a sad reality as well.
So the way I, as a non-theological, ignorant person, try and figure out whether something's good or bad, because it is an open question very often. It's like, is that good or bad? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Are the people doing it at peace and joyful, happy?
Yeah.
Are they tormented?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of people I like actually, not too many happy people.
Yeah.
Some really tormented people,
It's true.
for real.
Yeah.
String of wrecked relationships, kids who hate them, trans kids, drug problems. Like there's so much of that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a fair way to assess?
I think because it is logical that if Satan were to try to influence a culture in a mass way, that is a logical way that he would do it. And, oh, guess what? By the way, look at all the dysfunction we see in that community. it does seem to match up.
Another thing I want to speak about quickly is the comment regarding demonic possession in the West. Some believe demonic possession is not a thing, it doesn't really happen, but it is real. But the way it is manifested in the West is definitely different than the way we see it in other parts of the world in different cultures. I think here in the West, we see demonic manifestation is more mild and controlled. It's not as aggressive as we might see it in other parts of the world. But that doesn't necessarily mean people are not demonically possessed. And I think some of the things that were stated here, when you deny natural affections, when you deny basic truth of biology, right? When you remain in a constant state of victimhood, the stress level and depression level among many Americans, and not just Americans, Westerners, you can tell there's some serious demonic influence behind some of this as well. There is no peace in the hearts of men today. The gospel of Jesus Christ brings us peace. Peace is being robbed from the land, and you can see it in the various divisions and wars and conflicts and different people groups that are fighting for this or that or what cause and that cause. We have all these communities and we are divided by all these different ideologies. And I think that's all part of the demonic manifestation and influence on the culture as well.
So if evil is acting through you, you are harmed too.
Generally, I would say yes. You're going to be someone who's trying to influence others. You may not realize the full reasons why.
But it destroys you.
Yeah, it does destroy you.
It certainly seems to.
Yeah, I think so. Who would, God created us so we could have a relationship with him. So he taught us how we can live in a way that maximizes who we are. And when we stray from that in egregious ways, as many people have and do, there are implications for us.
If I were trying to subvert and destroy, I would go after religious leaders.
Yeah.
I'd have them molest kids or get freaky sex lives or steal money from the church.
Yes.
And I've always noticed that the leadership of Christian churches in just numerically, way more likely to be screwed up than the people in the pews.
I want to speak to the idea of the way the sexual perversion is among ministers. And I think you and I could agree, it's like the sexual perversion among pastors is like no others. You find that many pastors today have been caught in something, and sometimes they can be great ministers and they're doing great revivals and doing all these amazing things, and then all of a sudden their names come up with some really weird stuff, like children years after the fact, and they begin to be exposed, and it's like, where did that come from? I want to pause and say it's no condemnation, but we got to pray for our pastors. We got to pray for our ministers in the land. You got to pray for any minister that you know, because Satan is going for the head. And if the ministers are fallen, so goes the body. And also so goes the church, so goes Christianity. And the goal is to make sure that the Christian faith looks extremely bad. And it's part of the mission of the enemy to make sure that we don't get to where we need to be. And the Bible also tells us, strike the shepherd and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered. So it is a theological movement to get ministers to be caught up in all kind of sexual perversion. It really hurts the gospel and it hurts the church. So pray for your ministers, pray for them, because they are under a lot of pressure. All of them are being tempted. All of them are being tempted. And I think one of the Achilles' heel to destroying a man of God is the sexual perversion. Is the fall of Samson, the fall of Solomon, the fall of David. These were sexual sins, and the devil knows that. He uses that and he abuses that to his advantage to take down as many as possible. That's why you gotta pray for your pastors, that the Lord will keep them and they may remain strong, stay in one marriage and work out their issues as well, and pray for their families, man, because I believe Satan is targeting ministers. He's targeting me, and we gotta pray. And I can tell you, there's a lot of good ministers out there who are struggling. They are struggling in vain. and they need your help. They need your prayer. For them to remain strong and faithful, you need to pray for them.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean? You see these sex scandals with pastors, and you're like, how many people who are going to church every Sunday have sex lives like that? Probably not very many, but a pretty high percentage of pastors. And I feel like that is outside influence.
Like at teachers too. Teachers who young kids look up. Most of the teachers are Christians.
Yeah.
And so no, I had some wonderful teachers that taught me great lessons about life. So
you grew up in a better America than I did. In Southern California in the 70s, I thought they were all buffoons, freaks. I wasn't taking orders from them. I really disliked them. Sorry, excuse me.
It's funny.
Sorry. But if you want to lead people astray, you subvert their leaders, I guess.
Yes, very much so. I mean, just put yourself in Satan's place. How are you going to impact the maximum number of people? You're going to want to go after leaders. You're going to want to go after religious leaders. You're going to want to go after children. You're going to, and influence them at a young age.
You see all of that. I often think this is such a wonderful country, despite all its problems. I'm totally convinced it's the best country, having been to a lot of countries.
Yeah.
But our leadership is the worst.
Yeah.
They're the worst. They're like the worst people I've ever met. Mm. And maybe that's not accidental.
Yeah. I mean, could it be, I'll just raise the question, could it be that some people have received some assistance from demonic
certainly seems that way
in terms of achieving what they've achieved?
How many happy I don't know how many political leaders you know, but how many happy ones have you met?
Oh, gosh. Not a lot I trust, put it that way.
Right, but they're all like tormented.
Yeah.
Sweaty and nervous and afraid. Don't you think those are signs?
I do. And you look at if Satan's going to go after children, what is all this stuff about libraries doing children's readings and drag shows to little kids? Why? Why would that happen? You know what? Because if you can capture the mind of a child very young, it could influence them for the rest of their life.
What happens because we put up with it?
Yeah, we do.
A healthy society would not put up with
That's true.
For 5 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. Sorry, they'd drive them out of the temple immediately with a whip.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
Anyway, friends, I'm going to put a link in the description below if you want to watch the rest of this video. I thought it was a lot of good stuff in there, and I wanted to just share a few pieces and thoughts and ideas regarding that. Lee Strobel's story is a good story. If you haven't already seen it, I would encourage you, go take a listen to that. It is exceptionally amazing. It will encourage your heart and your faith. He's gotten so much older than last time I've seen him on videos, and he has done a lot of amazing work as well, as far as his books in certain colleges and everything like that, speeches that he give. That guy has written several books. I respect his work, although we don't exactly believe the same thing on every single subject. But when it comes to his testimonies, his love for the truth, defending Christ, upholding the truth about the resurrection of Jesus, Lee Strobel is the man. Lee Strobel is the man. And all right, friends, I just wanted to share this with you. Let me hear your thoughts and perspective. How do you feel about demonic manifestation in the culture today? Why is the enemy targeting pastors, ministers, Christians in the church when it comes to sexual perversion? How do you understand demonic possession in the culture? Do you see some of that? Do you see it the way that I do? Or do you have a different perspective you want to add to that? And the last question is, where do you think this is going to go? Where do you think this is going to go? With all the craziness we see in the world today, where is it going to go prophetically? I want to hear from you. Let's have the conversation in the comment below. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.